Good afternoon, Maimouna. It's so good to be here with you today. I'm excited to get to talk to you and pick your brain and find out um, more about you. So, for the people who are meeting you for the first time, how would you introduce yourself?
Well, my name is Maimouna Baba Danpullo, and I'm the partner in Billionaire.Africa. And at the same time, I'm an entrepreneur. Yeah,
Okay. What does a normal day look like for you?
yeah, a normal day. I'm not a early bird at all.
Mm.
I always wake up around 7 o'clock in the morning because my kids are going to school. As a single mother, I do not have much choice. I wake up, and once they are gone, I take my time to really become productive, but I'm not productive before 11 o'clock. So you can
I
have
get
anything out of me. I can work very late at night, very, very late. I don't have problem. But before 11, forget about me. You won't have anything positive coming out of me.
Okay. Um, just some questions on background, where did you grow up and what was the environment like? I've spoken to you and I get the sense from talking to you that family is something very important. So I think it would be interesting to hear about that.
Well, I grew up in Cameroon. I was born in Cameroon, and I was there until I was 7 years old. At 7 years old, my dad's, at that time, all the kids, all the elite, African elite were sending their kids in Europe, specifically in Geneva or in London, to go to school. So my dad sent my brothers, I have four eldest brothers, so he sent them to Switzerland at the boarding school. So when I was 7, he sent me, and I was there with them. But before that, I was in Cameroon. I grew up in Cameroon, but after I went to the boarding school.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the note of your dad, obviously very successful man, and you just spoke to me on the way here about what he taught you about success. And I'd like you to go more into that. What did your father teach you about success growing up and being successful?
But like, I come from a tribe where we are Muslim. I'm Al-Pula myself. And most of the time in this tribe, women do not behave like men. We do not have the same place as men. And my dad had always pushed me when I was a kid to always do my best. He always told me that as a woman, I can do better than a man. So what I am today is all thanks to him, because he had always pushed me to do the best out of myself. He had always, every time I was always performing very well at school. And it was because of him. He was always telling me, you can do it, you can outgrow your brothers, you can be the best in everything you do. And he was always telling me, please, I want you to finish school very quickly so that you can come and help me, because you're so bright, and I trust you. So that instilled all the strength in me to always be the best of myself. And I remember there is something that I would love to talk about here. I remember my dad, I was 7 years at that time, and he had a meeting at home, and he was signing a lot of documents. And I was, as usual, I was always close to him. And he was signing. After signing, he told me, Maimouna, you need to have your signature. And I asked him, what is a signature? He was like, then he showed me his signature. He said, your signature defines who you are. So I said, okay. Then I took a white paper and a pen, and I went to my room, and I started training myself to have my own signature. And up to today, I have the same signature. So it's to show you the impact my father had in who I became today.
Oh, it sounds like he had a big part in shaping the person you've become.
I am exactly where I am now because of my dad.
And when you were at a young age and your father had this impact on you, where you are now, is this how you imagine it would turn out to be?
No, not at all. Because my dad always told me that if I finish university, he wanted me to be working with him, helping him in his business. But unfortunately for me, when I finished university, I understood that actually he wanted me to to be the best out of the best, so that in my life, if I get married, a man will never undermine me. But it wasn't because he was expecting me to work with him. So it was very, very disappointing. My father had the biggest impact in my life, and my father was the biggest deception of my life. Yeah.
Biggest deception of your life.
Yes, because I've never seen myself working in another environment apart working for my dad. It was my biggest dream. And up to today, I think that if I say to myself that I'm still not dreaming about it, it will be a lie. But I finally accepted that it will not happen. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, outside of that, what other pressures do you think came with, I guess, maybe your childhood, but then also coming into the business that you are now?
The pressure, I think that most of the children from the elite, they have a lot of pressure in the fact that, you cannot do whatever you want. You have to always think about the consequences the impact is gonna have on the image of your family. So I think that you have a lot of responsibility from a very young age. Everything you do, you have to think about the consequences. You have to know the way you work, with who you are working, we are working with who you are dealing with. Everything you do, you have to always think about the consequences of the image that you're portraying and how it's going to impact in your family. Obviously, not everybody is in that case, but I'm talking about myself. I know that all my decisions, I took them always taking in consideration the fact that I didn't want it to hurt or to give a bad image to my father. A few years ago, I had an offer to do a TV show by the company TV5. And in that TV show, I was supposed to show all the beautiful side of Africa, because when the TV, how they portray Africa, they always portray Africa as poor, as we do not have a nice restaurant, we do not have nice shops.
Always the dusty roads and the huts.
Exactly. So they really wanted me to do that show, and I was very, very excited. I was really, really excited. But you see, at the same time in that show, I had to go to dinner with famous people in Africa, and I had to go to nightclubs with famous people in Africa too. So I had to refuse to do that show just because of the night side of the show. Because I had to show that we have a beautiful nightclub, we have amazing restaurant, but I didn't want it to impact in my father's image. You understand? So because of that, I didn't do that show. And it was something I really wanted to do. So sometimes you have to sacrifice some stuff that you want in order for you to keep the image of your family intact.
So you'd say that's a big misconception. People think being from an elite family is about freedom and doing whatever you want, when in fact it's not.
I think that they know that we cannot do whatever we want. I hope they know, because nobody really can do whatever he wants. But people tend to think that it's very easy because you have money. Of course, we have a lot of facilities. We travel. We have a nice life and all that. But there is a lot of pressure behind that. And if you look at the news and all that, you will see that there is a lot of elite kids that are going astray.
Yeah.
So it's because of the pressure. It's not everybody who can handle that kind of pressure. Yeah.
Oh, then on the note of working, you are an entrepreneur. Let's talk about that. What do you do now and how did you get there?
Well, basically, I am a consultant. I give advice to companies. When a company wants to hire me, I give them advice. I help them. I help them to do their business development in African countries. If they want to implement a market, I tell them which market I think that they should go into and which market they should not go into. And at the same time, like I told you, I'm a partner in Billionaire.Africa, where we organize show. We talk about Africa, about the impact of African people and all that. And I also distribute very high-end product from South Africa who are healthy, because that I think that are worth being known. So I do that too, yeah.
Okay. And earlier, I alluded to being, well, you also said that you're an entrepreneur. What is your experience being an entrepreneur? What is that like as a woman being an entrepreneur? And how would you compare it to maybe working for someone else, if you ever have worked for someone else? I'm not sure.
If I have been working for someone?
Yes, or have you been an entrepreneur your whole life?
No, not at all. I haven't been an entrepreneur all my life at all. I've always do the entrepreneurial work on the side, but I've always been working for companies. I've been working for a lot of different companies. As I told you, as an advisor, I used to help them for their negotiation, business development. And it's something I really appreciate as a woman. I like working with different kind of company because I touch people always ask me, which sector do you like to work in? I don't have any sector I like to work in. I just like to work with people. I love people. And it's very easy for me to learn from a sector. Let's say now you are in the oil and gas sector. If now you need my service, you can hire me. I will come, and it's very easy for me to blend in and to understand what I have to do. So it's not difficult. I can pass from oil and gas to FMCG immediately. I don't have any issue with that. But now the entrepreneurial side that I have is that, like I told you, it's like when I see those South African product that I think that are really worth to be known, then I put the right people in place and I delegate the job to them and I oversee what they're doing. But personally, I prefer to work with companies as a woman. That is my point of view. I prefer because, first of all, you have the security of knowing that you are paid every month and everything. And as a woman, I think that, and especially as parents, you feel more comfortable like that. But when you're an entrepreneur, the problem with entrepreneurship, in my point of view today, in the place where I am, is what I've discovered about myself, is the fact that I don't spend enough time with my kids. There is so many things I would like to do for myself, I do not do. So actually, it eats you. Being an entrepreneur eats you a lot as a mother. And I think that is a very bad thing to think that. I think that women, we can do much more better than men. That's my opinion. But it does not mean that because we can do better than men, that it means that it's really what we cherish to do, working. I personally prefer 1,000 times spending time with my kids, looking after my house, and for me, it's more important than to go there and make it. So that is the reason why I prefer to work for them in order for them to implement their brand or in order for them to expand. That is something that's very, very interesting for me. And at the same time, I have the security that I know that I will have enough time for my kids, and then I have a control on my schedule. But when you're an entrepreneur, you never know. You have to travel every time. You do not have enough time for your kids because you're always in a stress of you need to make it because you're the one in charge of everything. You understand what I mean? Yeah. So personally, I'm just talking about myself. I prefer to work and take my knowledge and give it to companies that deserve it, and than to be doing it myself.
Okay. Got it. I'm going to come back to, because you mentioned the importance of family, something that coming up quite a bit. So I'm going to come back to it. I have one more question, because you've sort of painted this picture now from childhood up until now, the aspirations that you had versus actually executing them and, living out the dreams you had when you were younger. But what would you say in your career was the biggest turning point?
What was my biggest turning point in my career?
Yes.
I would say when I opened a nightclub when I was 15 years old. You see, the funny thing is that I opened that nightclub not because I'm a night person. I'm not a night person at all. I don't drink, I don't smoke, and I was not a night bird, like going out. I'm a very, very quiet person. Like, I'm not. I can say that I had a very boring teen years because I was not doing all that crazy stuff that youngsters they do. I
Opening
wasn't.
a nightclub at 15 doesn't sound boring.
Yeah, it wasn't. But the reason why I did it, like I told you, because of my dad always pushing me to become an entrepreneur, to to do things. So I am always the kind of person who always, when I see a niche market, I go for it. And at that time in Switzerland, there was no single nightclub that was playing R&B music. And I used to hear Black people talking about that. Oh, it's not right. There is techno, there is techno, there is house music, but there is no R&B. So I said to myself, well, if there is, so this is a way to make money. Why shouldn't I do that? So I just rent a space. I look around and I find a nightclub that was bankrupt. I bought all the materials. I call one of the best DJs in Paris. I spoke to him on the phone. I hired him. And at that time, I was going to university already. And in my university, there was a lot of Chinese that managed to come to the university, but they still were struggling to have ends meet. So I spoke to all of them. There were approximately 10 of them. And I told them, listen, I can hire you to work during the weekend in my nightclub, because I trusted them, because I knew that they will not steal and I hired all of them. So they were all working for me during the weekend. And during the week, we were going all together at school. So it was a very nice experience. And after 2 years, I made enough money, and then I sold the nightclub. Someone came and I sold it to him. Yeah. But you see, I think that is an amazing experience. It allows me to see how strong I was, and then that. But I never put that part of myself on my CV, because I never know if a person read my CV, how he will portray me, because he see that I created a nightclub when I was 15. He will maybe think that I'm an animal, party animal, So that's the reason why I went. Well, it's not the case at all. And I think it's unfortunate, because people, you see, that's the thing, that people judge you for small things like that.
No. Makes sense.
And it's only now that I've start talking about it. Actually, it's the first time I'm talking about it, because at my age now, I don't see what's the use for me to hide what I'm really proud of myself for what I did. So I don't see why I should hide it.
You should be. It sounds like you're a natural born entrepreneur, and you have been for a long time.
Yeah. But like I told you, I prefer to work for other people because it's less stressing. And for me, today, the most important thing, especially because I'm a single mother, is to look after my kids. So I rather work for a company, and I know that I have total control on my schedule, than to work for myself, where I know that it's gonna eat all my time, and I will lose all those years that I could spend with my kids. Yeah. So that's why I think that people tend to think that women and men are the same. I think that will never be the same, because that motherhood feeling, men do not have it. And I rather 1,000 times be an amazing mother than to be an amazing entrepreneur. Personally, I'm more proud of that than to be an entrepreneur.
So, spoken about your values, I think they're the ones where it's like no smoking, no drinking, but then the really big ones like family, that seems, what I'm hearing from you, that's a really big value of yours,
it is.
What other values do you try to live by in everyday life?
I am a very spiritual person. I believe in God. I know that we do not have any control on our life. Everything comes from God. So I always take one day at a time. But I'm a person who do not lie to myself too. And I'm not afraid to take risk. Yeah. When I see that things are not working, I do not waste time and act very, very quickly. And I know that many people think that I don't smoke, I don't drink, because I am Muslim. But actually, that's not the reason. That's not the reason at all. The only reason why I'm not smoking and I'm not drinking is because everything that I know I can become addicted to, I don't go next to it. And that's the same thing I tell my kids. I don't tell them, don't smoke because you're a Muslim. Don't drink because you're a Muslim. No, not at all. Because everything you do, they have consequences. If you know that you can bear the consequences, then go for it. I personally know that I would not bear the consequences of smoking and drinking, because when I like something, I tend to like it too much. So everything that is not good for me, I stay away from it. So that's the only reason. I could have been born any kind of religion, I would have still be the same thing. And personally, when it comes to religion, I find that in all religion, you find there is something positive into it. So I read the Bible, I read the Quran, I read the Torah, and in each of them, I find very meaningful thing that I live by.
And those like meaningful things, you find that they like when you feel stuck sometimes or uncertain or unsure, do they help you? Like
my kids.
Anything that you value in your life. So you spoke about your family, you've spoken about certain religious texts, your values as well. Do they motivate you when you feel unstuck, unsure? Are there other things that you turn to or that you find motivate you when you feel stuck?
Honestly, when I'm stuck, the only thing I do is to pray. Every time I'm stuck, I just turn to God and I pray and I speak to God. I tell him all my stress and I let it be. And I always say to myself that I talk to God and I say, may your will be done in my life. Yeah. I spend a lot of time praying. Yeah.
Okay. And spoken about your values. It's a twofold question I have. One, are they values you've had for most of your life or a long time? Have you always felt this strongly about family and other things, or are there things that you've changed your mind about over the years, things that you've only learned as you've gotten older?
Yes, what I've learned is that the term family doesn't mean the blood only. I consider there's a lot of people I've been working with that I consider my family. So I'm very, very grateful to God for that, because I found in my path, I found a lot of people that showed me so much love, that they were there for me in difficult time, and we are not related at all by blood. So I think that people tend to think that when I talk about family, I do not talk about blood, only blood. But I will say that I have more people I can rely on that are not my family than people that are my own family, yeah.
Okay. So moving on from, the values, what are some challenges, that you faced in your life that you feel have shaped you?
Well, most of the time, the biggest challenge that you face is the fact this is your family name. Like in my case, my family name, the fact that I'm the daughter of El Haji Baba Amadou, has always been an issue for me, because people, they just think that because your father is a billionaire. I'm giving you a simple example. Let's say now I want to work with this company, that I really want to work with them. And I go and I apply, and I want to work with them. The first thing they will think is like, but why do you want to work with us? You can work with your dad. Why do you want to work with us? And then the other thing too is that because you come from a very, very wealthy family, they think that you're going to be very expensive for them to hire you. So it's very difficult to come from a rich family, because people have so much assumption that are completely false. The money of your father is not your money. The career of your father is not your career. And then there is nothing. There's something that's more important. I'm giving you a simple example. My dad, he doesn't want to work with girls. He prefers to work with his boys. So, but people, they don't understand all that. So you cannot just judge people based on the fact that their parents are wealthy or anything. You can even find parents that don't want at all their kids to have anything to do with their wealth. If you look at someone like what is his name? That richest American guy who says that he will take all his wealth and give it to the distributed to us to all the poor people. He doesn't want his kids to have his money.
I know who you're talking about. It's a scare.
Exactly. Yeah, I can see his face, but but they'll come back. But you see, so it's all that misconception that people they have, and it's really annoying. So I have my 2 kids, and then the way I raise them, I do not raise them as you are the grandkids of Alhaji Baba. I don't. I raise them as individuals who have to discover who they are, and you see what I mean, yeah. And they do not have the same education that I had. Me, I was going to a school where they will learn you to become elite. You see, I went to school where they consider that you are considered an elite, and you have to behave. They will tell you how to eat, how to speak, how to, engage with different kind of people. But now my kids, they didn't go through that. Because I don't want them to go through that. I want them to be who they are.
On that note, I'm going to start with the negative and then move on to the positive. So on the, maybe not negative, but we've spoken about other people's sort of misconceptions about you, about your family, about what it could be like growing up elite. But what's something you have had to unlearn or teach yourself?
Overthinking.
Overthinking
and overanalyzing. That is something that I really, really have to stop. I tend to analyze everything and overthink everything, which is very tiring and I think not good at all.
I hear that.
Because I'm a perfectionist, actually. So because of that perfectionist side of me, I tend to analyze and overthink everything. Yeah.
Okay. And what is something you're proud of? I think I already know what the answer is going to be, but what's something that you've done or have that fills you with pride?
Something that I've done that I'm very proud of. I think it was launching my the first triangle school in Senegal. I opened a school. Well, what happened is that I think that Chinese, Mandarin, English, and Spanish are very, very important language that we should learn our kids. Because if you look at the population of China, and if you look at the population in Latin America, I think that for the future of your kid, it's very important that they learn those language. So when I was living in Senegal, I went to the embassy of China and I spoke to them about an idea of opening a school where kids are going to study English, French, and Mandarin. And the government of China were very, very helpful. I was very, very happy, very open-minded, very happy about my idea. They gave me free teachers. They gave us free books. They really helped us. And then we opened that school. That's one of the things that I'm the most proud that I did myself. Yeah.
My guess was completely.
And then I'm not going to lie too. I'm very proud of my 2 kids. That is something that I'm very, very proud of what they are becoming. Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that. Well, what's something that you're still feel like you're working on personally?
Stop overthinking.
Stop overthinking.
Yeah.
On the note of overthinking, because for me, I'm also a massive overthinker, massive overanalyzer, and part of that comes with also something I'm learning is I'm learning to handle criticism or judgment. How do you feel you handle criticism or judgment?
I love it. I love it when people criticize me and judge me, because it allows me to go and reassess myself. I don't get upset at all when someone tells me something negative about myself. In the contrary, I think that you learn more with the judgment and criticism of people than if imagine you having people always telling you how great you are. Yeah. You wouldn't learn anything. You wouldn't improve anything about yourself. But if now people tell you the flow that you have or the flow that they can perceive that you have, it allows you to become a better person. So I do not take it badly at all. And if now someone criticizes me or judge me and I think that is not right, I just ignore it, but really it does not affect me negatively at all. At all, at all, at all.
That's amazing. So
I already know myself very well and I already know my flows. I'm working on them myself. So if someone see more flows that I have and then it's a good thing for me to work on it. Let it be.
let it be. Who would you say has had the biggest impact on your life?
My dad.
I figured.
My dad had the bigger impact in my life, and I think that my dad is the person that broke my heart the biggest too. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I am what I am today because of him. Yeah.
And you mentioned, he wanted you to come work for him, but you didn't want to.
No, I think that to motivate me, he was using that excuse to push me to become the best of myself. And it did work because I was always obsessed for him to be proud of me, always being the best at everything I was doing, trying to finish my school as quick as possible in order for me to go work. He tricked me and the trick worked.
So, no, I'm guessing then throughout your life, you've worked with many people, right?
Yeah.
Who, when you work with someone and they make you feel most like yourself, right? And that makes you able to do the best possible work that you can do.
Mm-hmm.
What kinds of people, or is there any one person in particular or type of person that brings the best work out of you would say?
That I've been working with, huh?
Yeah. Past or right currently? Be anyone.
When I was working with OCP, is the biggest fertilizing company in the world, and it's from Morocco. I really enjoy working there because I felt they give me the freedom of working in my pace, and also everything that I was proposing to them, they were very open about it. So it was very nice, and I love to travel. So I was traveling a lot in the African continent. So really, that experience I had with them was one of the best experience I had. Well, yeah.
Glad to hear that. No, if you could talk to a younger self, what kind of advice do you think you would give her?
Well, I think that I would enjoy life more when I was younger, because I think that because I was so obsessed about finishing school to go and work with my dad, there's a lot of things that I could have done. I haven't done it. And today I regret it a lot. That is the reason why today I'm in a state in my life where I want to do big change. Like now I live in South Africa and I want to relocate. Not because I don't like South Africa, but because of all the problem in South Africa, the fact that when you're working, you have to travel, you leave your kids, there is crime in the country. When your kids, they go out, you're always worried because of the crime. As a mother, it's very, very difficult. So I prefer to relocate to a place where I know my kids are going to be safe. And then I can continue to work and go into new ventures,
Yeah.
But even though I have to travel a lot or anything, at least I know that I have my peace of mind, knowing that my children are in a safe place, like I'm thinking about either an Asian country or the Middle East, something like that, yeah.
I'm going to come back to the relocation question, but I wanted you to talk more about, you said things that you regret not doing when you're younger. Could you go into more detail, possibly?
I am a people person. I love people. I just love to discover new culture, new countries. So I think that if it wasn't for all that work with my dad and everything, I would have traveled more and discover more culture. So that is something that I've decided now that is very important for me to go and start doing, yeah. Because my kids are all teenagers, so it's thing that I would like to do with them before they leave me, and go their own way. So it's something that I'm really looking forward to do with my kids. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to traveling more with
Yeah, really looking
family.
forward to traveling more. And I think that I don't think that I'm going to be working. I don't think that I'll go into ventures, into entrepreneurship anymore. That because it's something that is too tiring, and I feel it's not allowing me to do all the things that I would like to do. That's good for my personal development. Yeah.
Is that something that scares you? That was going to be my next question. My next question is, what's something you're doing next year that might scare you? But is the idea of not delving into entrepreneurship, any more scary? Is there anything else happening within the next year that scares you maybe a little bit?
No, actually, I'm very excited to go to a new, to change my life. I'm really excited to go to a new chapter of my life, and I'm really looking forward to it.
I mean, let's talk more about the relocation. I was going to say, what's next for you? You mentioned wanting to relocate away from South Africa. Tell me more about that.
Well, I'm planning to leave at the end of the school year this year to move. I'm still deciding which country will be the best for my kids and for me. But definitely I will be looking at a company where I know that my asset could be useful for them. And I hope to stay in that company for as long as possible, yeah. I really want to find the right company where I will give all my best and at the same time have time for my kids and for myself, yeah. But I've decided definitely to stop entrepreneurship.
You think you'll ever come back? Or
To entrepreneur?
yeah,
No, I
is
would.
it a break or just
My daughter, she's a serial entrepreneur. I will help her to build her own entrepreneurial experience. But me personally, no, I don't feel the need anymore. I do not feel the. I'm really in another phase of my life where I am more into myself and more into my family, and I want to be happy, and I do not want to have stress. Yeah. And I think it's too stressful to be an entrepreneur. So I rather work for people and give the best of myself to them, but still have the time still remove that stress from myself. Yeah.
If your daughter asked to open a nightclub
If
as a
she,
first
if you
entrepreneurship?
think it's gonna work, why not? Why not?
I like that mindset.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm very, very open to follow my kids in everything they would like to do. And yeah, because if you do not try, you will never know. You will never know. And failing, there's nothing wrong about trying and failing. There's nothing wrong. Actually, the best thing that can happen to you is to try and to fail.
I agree. I hop on the nightclub not because I think it's funny, but I find it, inspiring. You saw something that needed to change, and you're the person who changed it.
But that's the same thing that I didn't. You see, that is the kind of person I am. I always go to niche market. I remember when for the nightclub, I was the first one to do the first R&B nightclub in Switzerland. Then after, when I come to South Africa, at that time, Black people were not using wave and wig and wave, they didn't know about it. And I was the first person who started doing wholesaling of hair in South Africa. And after, when I went to Senegal, I saw that I thought of that trilingual school, and I was the first to open the first trilingual school in Senegal. So I'm always the kind of person who always see what is missing somewhere and create it. I've always been like that. It's something I like niche market. I'm always looking at something that nobody is doing, and I go for it. That is something that excites me a lot. So I like to go, and that is the reason why I like to travel, because I like to find things in other countries that do not exist in Africa and try to bring it down, you see? Yeah.
Where are some of the places you think you're traveling with?
I love Asia. I love Asia. Really, I really love Asia. I love Asian culture. I love African countries too. So I would like to explore more African countries and Asian countries, yeah. Because I really love culture. And you see, going to a private school when I was in the boarding school is very nice because you meet people from different nationality, from different background too. So I've mingled with Japanese, with Chinese, with Spanish people, with Arabic family. So those private school, the good thing about is, first of all, you keep friend for life. That's the first thing. And the second thing that's very good about those school is the fact that you learn to live with people who are different from you. You learn from their culture. You learn from their difference with you, and you become more tolerant. And that is something that is amazing. And that is a plus that kids from a wealthy family have compared to other people, you see. Yeah. So we are it's very easy for us to mingle in different environment because of that, of what we've learned in those schools. Yeah.
Okay.
And I also think it's very important that as a parent, you should not overprotect your kids. Sometimes too, people from a very rich family, they tend to overprotect their kids. And that I think is a big mistake, because by overprotecting them, you're not preparing them to all the difficulty that they will face in life. So I'm the kind of person where I'm not that kind of mother at all.
Did you feel overprotected as a child, looking back?
If I feel overprotected?
Did you feel overprotected when you were a child?
No.
No.
No. No, my dad didn't behave like that with me, and my mom neither. So no, my parents were the way they raised me in a very simple way, not in like a rich type of environment at all. My father is a very simple person, my mom too. So no, we had a lot of freedom to do whatever we want. I used to go to the neighborhood and play with children from very poor area, and I used to love it. But my parents would not say, oh, no, don't go and mingle with those kind of children. No, not at all. And that's exactly what I'm instilling to my kids too. They should know how they should mingle with people from different background, because they can be born in a wealthy family, but we never know what can happen tomorrow. You can be rich tomorrow and the next day you're poor. So I don't want to put them to have that kind of mindset, but it's something that I've noticed a lot in private schools, is that the kids are overprotected. And that is the reason why once they become adult, they have that shock where they see the reality of the world and they're completely lost.
Is it something you saw with other children when you were growing up, or is it something you see with the children that your kids are around now?
No, it's things that I see with the people that I grew up with, because a lot of them didn't succeed in their life. Many of them didn't succeed. But with my kids too, I see the same thing, because if you go to their schools, you see that the parents are overprotective with their kids. But I don't raise my kids like that at all. Thank you so much, Leander, for all those questions.
Well, thank you for having me. I found it very interesting learning more about you and your family.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Well, and I'm hoping to have you here again next week.
Oh, me too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.